Hey boys and girls, today we're going to multiply decimals with zeros in the product. So remember, product is the answer to a multiplication problem. And when we're multiplying these numbers today, you'll notice that there are a lot of zeros in our factors that we're multiplying and in our product. So that can get a little confusing, so that's why we need to continue, like we said, to make sure that our answers are reasonable and make sense. So we need to make sure we write the correct number of zeros in our product. That's what our I can statement is today. So we are in your module 10 through 20 book, and we're on page 409. So follow along with me while we do this. So we can see our picture here. It says Jamal and his friends arrive at the train station. The map shows distances to various attractions from the station. See our train station? Various attractions. You can go to the art museum, the zoo, the science museum. His guidebook recommends a sandwich shop 2/10 of the way from the train station to the zoo. How far is the sandwich shop from the train station? Okay, so it says a sandwich shop 2/10 of the way from the train station to the zoo. So here is our train station to the zoo, and you can see from our picture it says that that is 3/10 of a mile away. But the sandwich shop is 2/10 of that. See that word of again. So we're finding the 2/10 of this distance. So our product, it tells us, is 2/10 times 3/10. But the question, kind of like we said with yesterday's lesson, what is the related whole number? Our related whole numbers would be 2 times 3. You probably already saw that, and you probably already thought the number 6. We are going to have the number 6 in our answer, but we need to make sure that it's in the correct place. So B says, how many decimal place values are needed in the decimal product? Okay, so if we think about it, if we look at these numbers right here, 2/10 and 3/10, there's 1, 2 places after the decimal there. That's what it's meaning. So if we've got 2 decimal places here in our factors, then we're going to need 2 in the decimal product. And I'll show you how we're doing that here. C says there's only 1 digit in the whole number, right? The number 6. I'm going to write it right here. Now we've been talking about, since we've been multiplying, that even if we don't see it, there's always a decimal right here in every number. Just like if I said that sandwich costs $6, or I said that sandwich costs $6, you would look at these numbers and say those are the same value. Putting that decimal and putting zeros has not changed the value of my 6. So it says there's only 1 digit in the whole number product, where we did it up here. Write zeros as needed to the left so that there are enough digits to place the decimal point correctly. So since we know that our decimal, there's always a decimal here, and we knew that we needed 2 place values because we had our 2 in the tenths and our 3 in the tenths place, then we're going to move backwards, right? Because this is smaller than the whole number. This is 2/10 and 3/10. We're going to move backwards 2 times. Our decimals move in 2 place values, 1, 2. When I do that, it puts my decimal here, and I have to put a 0 for that placeholder. So actually that amount is 600ths, and it would look like this, 600ths. When I did my whole number, 2 times 3, I knew it was 6. 2/10 times 3/10, I'm going to have to move that decimal back 2 times, and that's going to be 600ths. Now moving the decimal backwards and forwards might be a little confusing for you, so you can always just multiply it. 2/10 times 3/10, just like we've been doing. When we know 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 0 is 0, mark out my 3, put my 0, 0 times 2 is 0, 0, 0, 0. But we, the reason we were talking about this is because when you multiply in this way, you might still be confused as to where to put the decimal because there are so many zeros. That's why we were discussing what we could do here. But you could also think about what we talked about the past couple of days. There's one decimal, we move out once, twice, we move in once, twice. And y'all, that's exactly what we were discussing here. That's the steps we can follow there. Okay? Let's practice some more. Let's turn to page 411 and we'll do number 2. It just says 6/10 times 1/10. Now you are probably going to go ahead and pick out 6 times 1 you know is 6. But your question is going to be, do I know where to put my decimal? Do I know how many zeros need to be in my answer? So we can multiply 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 0 is 0, 0 times 6 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0. Again, we see this. We've got 1, 2, go back 1, 2. So that's going to be 6/100ths as well. You might also could look at it and say, both of my digits are in the tenths. They're both 2 places after the decimal. So I know that decimal has got to move back 2 times. All right, this one is 3/100ths times 3. You're probably already thinking the number 9. 9 is going to be in there, but do you know how many zeros are going to be in that answer? And what would make sense? So 3 times 3 we know is 9. 3 times 0 is 0. 0. We move down. 0, 0, 0. You've got lots of zeros here. But we need our decimal somewhere. Now I can look and I know I've got 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal. And I'm going to move 3 places in. So that's going to be 9/1000ths for my answer. And we'll do one more. Let's do number 6 down here. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes cost 85 cents for 1 pound. Jalen buys 1/10 pound of sweet potatoes. How much does he pay? So again, remember how we were talking about what would make sense. We have 85 cents for 1 pound. Jalen bought 1/10, so he didn't even buy 1 pound. He bought less than 1. So that means my answer is going to be less than 85 cents because I'm not even multiplying by 1, I'm multiplying by something less than 1. Just like 85 cents times 1 is 85 cents. But 85 cents times something less than 1 would give me a number less than 85 cents. So if I multiply it right here, 8 times 5 is 40, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. And then I just have my zeros. Let's think about what's going to make sense here. If 1 pound was 85 cents and they got 1/10 of the pound, we're going to have our answer less than 85, so that'd be 68. Now we can also follow that rule we've been saying. 1, 2, 3, jump in 1, 2, 3. 68 cents is going to make the most sense for our answer. Okay, then you're going to move on and your homework is on page 157. You can do the odd numbers on that sheet.